Firstly, I would like to introduce my co-presenters this morning. Managing Director of COMBiliFT, Martin McVicker. Ireland Supervisor at L3 Harris Technology, Shane Skelly. Currently an apprentice on the O.E.M programme, Paul Callan. Training Centre Manager here at Monaghan, Cavan Education and Training Board, Sinead McKenna. And Apprenticeship Manager at Limerick Clare Education and Training Board, Kevin Barclay. The O.E.M apprenticeship is targeted at the original equipment manufacturing, installation and service sectors. O.E.M is a national apprenticeship programme with the QQI Level 6 Advanced Certificate for all successful apprentices. The O.E.M apprenticeship is a 3-year programme. The apprenticeship was designed in collaboration with industry to fulfil a need. The O.E.M technician will be trained in a diverse range of engineering skills in order to assemble a wide range of components involving a range of processes in order to manufacture and support original equipment. The role of the O.E.M technician has been recognised by SOLAS as a greenfield one. This is a new and exciting apprenticeship opportunity. The apprenticeship was developed using a bottom-up approach, industry-led and supported by education. The O.E.M apprenticeship has 2 core objectives. Firstly, to provide trained O.E.M apprentices, thereby bridging the gap for the O.E.M industry, and to provide credible career paths and progression routes for those apprentices. At this point, I would like to ask Martin McVicker, Managing Director of COMBiliFT, to tell us about the origins of the O.E.M apprenticeship, how it came about, and how relevant it is to the O.E.M sector.
Thank you, Anne-Marie, and good morning, everyone. I know on this call, there's quite a few colleagues in the mid-tier engineering group and other manufacturing companies in Ireland, so thanks for joining this morning. And I think I don't need to give an introduction to quite a few on the call because many were involved in the generation of the course content. But as Anne-Marie mentioned, it's probably useful because I know there's a number of new participants here that have really a big interest in the apprenticeship. So maybe to give some background, so about 3 years ago, COMBiliFT with a number of other manufacturing companies across the island, we joined up to develop the course content for this apprenticeship. And when I said there was 22 manufacturing companies, and the term O.E.M comes from the abbreviation of original equipment manufacturing. So when we were developing the course content, we were very focused on developing the course content around manufacturing businesses in Ireland. And with the support of Enterprise Ireland through the mid-tier engineering group, that was very much where the cohort originated from. But having said that, the course content, because as Anne-Marie mentioned, it's one of the new generation apprenticeships. While traditionally on a craft apprenticeship, the course content, a lot of it may have been developed more academically, but the course content for the O.E.M apprenticeship is very much collaboration between industry and education. And I think the real value in that, and I think we all, any of us that are in business understand the real benefit of that is the course is relevant to industry today and hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, as much as we all can see ahead at the moment. And in terms of, we were probably lucky about 3 years ago, the Apprenticeship Council had an open call for development of new apprenticeships. So that was actually really the catalyst to really pull this all together. Now, with the apprenticeship, of course, we all know with traditional apprenticeships, you know, it's very much, there's work, very much hands-on and academic. So the course content is very similar to what you'd be familiar with on other apprenticeships, and I'm sure Anne-Marie and some of the colleagues will go into a little bit more on the detail. But the real relevance is it's the course content was developed around the need of a group, and we say a cohort of 22 businesses across the island, right from north to south, excluding Northern Ireland, but right across the Republic of Ireland, so the course content. And I suppose when you think of the O.E.M apprenticeship, the term was very much focused on manufacturing companies, but we realised, and it really realised this while the course was being developed, and particularly over the last 12 months, the course content is not just relevant to manufacturing companies, but it's very relevant to companies in the service industry that are supporting manufactured products. So technicians that are doing repair and maintenance on machinery, troubleshooting. And, you know, even I had first-hand experience. As of January this year, I was participating with an Austrian company, Pottinger, an agricultural manufacturer in Austria. And I was at an open event where they were opening a new facility in Clonmel. And they had 20 plus of their dealerships across Ireland at that event. And it's amazing even the interest from the agricultural dealerships, because we all know, for those of us who manufacture agricultural equipment, we all need technicians that can build and assemble and troubleshoot, but the aftermarket support is also critical. So I think our dealerships, and even though the term is OEM apprenticeship, but it's very open for companies and participants that are focused on the service of equipment. And the course content is very relevant because it's very much focused on, and if I simplify it down to mechatronics, and we all know that's a combination of mechanics and electronics. And in all the products we manufacture and service, there's really a combination of that today. And of course, more electronics in the future. So we're very confident in COMBiliFT and many of the other manufacturing companies here on the island that the course content is relevant today and hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years. And that basis can help our businesses. So I'd like to encourage, you know, I know with the first year, the program was already complete and the candidates I know within COMBiliFT have got real value from it and the other companies that are participating. But I'd like to re-emphasize the value of apprenticeships, and this course content is definitely relevant to manufacturing and service companies. So I'll pass you back to Anne-Marie, and of course, if there's any questions later, but thanks, Anne-Marie.
On mute, Anne-Marie.
My apologies, I'm on mute again. I'd like to ask Shane Skelly, Ireland Supervisor at L3Harris Technologies, to speak on how this apprenticeship fits with their company and how it has been for them having an OEM apprentice.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Shane Skelly, and as Anne-Marie said, I'm the current Ireland Supervisor and an engineer with L3Harris in Ireland. I'll be speaking on behalf of L3Harris this morning, and we'll give just a quick overview of our business firstly, and our experience also with the OEM apprenticeship. L3Harris is a global OEM company that produces security and detection systems. Examples of our equipment are X-ray machines for passengers hand luggage and check luggage at airports, body scanners, metal detectors, explosive trace detection equipment. We are primarily an OEM company, but we also install our systems in Ireland, the UK and across the world, and we provide field service contracts to support them. We also have fixed term maintenance contracts for our customers also. Our customers are airports, customs and border controls, seaports, train stations, bus depots. We became very interested in the OEM apprenticeship running at the Monaghan Institute for a number of reasons last year. Firstly, it gives us the opportunity to develop our talent specific to our industry. Our current field service engineers require a very broad set of service and maintenance skills to maintain our equipment in Ireland. The skill sets we require range from a very broad basic mechanical to electrical and electronic troubleshooting, knowledge of automation and control, and IT skills also. Our current apprentice would gain knowledge and exposure to all these disciplines during his 3-year OEM apprenticeship at the Monaghan Institute. After completing his first phase at the Monaghan Institute, our apprentice was eager to get involved on site in the airports, and now he has assisted in the machine installation and maintenance activities over the past couple of months. His on-site assessments, his first on-site assessment was health and safety, which he completed successfully, and he was assisted by his mentor and from the college also. For us, having an apprentice along with one of our experienced field service engineers enhances our productivity on site. For example, at an airport, our apprentice can carry out the basic aspects of the routine maintenance of an X-ray system, while the engineer is dealing with any other technical issues or further customer requests. This has also increased the number of maintenance activities we can now complete in one day in an airport. Also, a lot of our service tasks today, from a health and safety aspect, require 2 people at all times to complete them. So an apprentice is perfect in this scenario, and he can give assistance when it's required, and he can then consequently return to his own assigned maintenance tasks afterwards. We have also found that by having an apprentice, it motivates our current engineers. As part of the OEM apprenticeship, the apprentice completes learning logs each week and his assessments to complete during their time spent with their employer. Our engineers at L3Harris were eager to get involved in the training of our apprentice and have mentioned on a number of occasions about the job satisfaction achieved from training and mentoring our apprentice on site. They are always happy to get involved and assist and help the apprentice in preparation for his work-based assessments, and they continually give support, guidance and help with any of his technical queries. We also hope that the OEM apprenticeship helps with our employee retention. The OEM apprenticeship is a level 6 qualification, as mentioned, in engineering over a 3-year discipline. It can be easily built on to achieve a further level 7 and level 8 qualification down the road. This will be supported by L3Harris in turn, and over time would provide us with a highly qualified and experienced field service engineer. I have to say that honestly, in its first year, the OEM apprenticeship program has been very positive for us. We get excellent support and guidance from the Monaghan Institute in relation to what is expected from us as employers in developing the skills of the apprentice. The mentors for the apprentices also get specific training from the Institute, which is used during the apprentice's on-site assessments. These modular assessments are designed to suit all employers' industries, with a wide range of technical options to choose from while completing them. I would encourage all the service industries to consider the huge benefits of having an OEM apprentice in their workforce. Please feel free to ask or email any questions in relation to my experience so far with the OEM apprenticeship program, and I will be very happy to respond. Thanks very much for listening, guys.
Thank you very much, Shane. I'd now like to ask Paul Callan, who's a current apprentice on the apprenticeship, to chat to us about how the apprenticeship is going for him.
Hello everybody, my name's Paul Callan and I'm an OEM apprentice with COMBiliFT here in County Monaghan. I've been with COMBiliFT now for about 4 years. I recently decided to approach them about starting an apprenticeship. That's when I was first introduced to the OEM apprenticeship. What I really liked about the OEM apprenticeship was the broad range of topics and modules that I was going to cover when I was on the apprenticeship, while on the job and off the job. In Monaghan Institute, I was going to be covering the likes of OEM practices, which was kind of bits of mechanics and stuff there, which I was really going to enjoy. Electronic technology, applied engineering, OEM drawing, and then later on robotics, PLCs and mechatronics. Following that, I decided that this was the apprenticeship for me because it wasn't just very narrow-minded, it was very broad, and that's what I wanted it to cover, a lot of things and keep my options open for what particular part I'd really enjoy. So last October I started down in Monaghan Institute, and I have to say, from the facilities to Anna Marie and Stephen and all the other tutors, I have to say it was fantastic. There was no problem too big or too small that they wouldn't help you out with, no matter what it was. It was just a great experience, and it just left it very easy to learn in such a comfortable environment down there. I did learn a lot of stuff, especially with all the hands-on we had down there. Like, for example, in OEM practices, it wasn't just sitting and reading out of a book. Well, we did have to do that at times, but we struggled through that. And then we actually got our hands-on experience from dismantling engines and gearboxes to reassembling them. And then we had the likes of Stephen, our tutor, who was able to talk us through the most intricate wee part of the gearbox or an engine and explain how everything worked and went together, which was very good. What surprised me the most about actually being in the college with the other apprentices was how much knowledge I gained from themselves. What I learned about their companies and how they produce their products, from the engineering of them to the assembly of their products. It was brilliant, and it was stuff that I could bring back to my own workplace here in COMBiliFT. Once I finished down there, I came back to COMBiliFT and I was assigned a mentor, Peter. He was very good, I have to say. We have a few assignments to complete here that Shane touched on, from health and safety to OEM practices to electrics. And for everyone, it was very new here, including ourselves. It was all new for Peter as well, but he's gotten us through them all so far, and I think we're doing fairly well with them. We've gotten good grades, and we're getting through them. That is kind of it now. So if there's any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and just want to say I'm very much looking forward to year 2 and what it brings and the topics and modules we'll be covering then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul. That was a wonderful advocate for the apprenticeship. Thanks, Paul, for that. I'd now like to ask Sinead McKenna, Training Centre Manager here at Monaghan, to speak to you about the apprenticeship and about Monaghan Institute. Sinead.
Good morning, everyone. I work very closely with Anna-Marie on this apprenticeship, and we promote apprenticeship as a crucial model of education. And what I mean by that is combining the work-based learning and the classroom learning. And this was evident from listening there to L3 Harris, but also from Paul Callan, who outlined the real-life experience of his first year on the apprenticeship programme at Monaghan Institute. The slide you see there up in front of you illustrates the 3-year programme. So in year 1, we have our core modules: health and safety, engineering drawings, OEM practice, electrical and electronic technology, and that's for 16 weeks. In year 2, it's another 16 weeks, and the modules will include mechatronics, testing and measurement of electronic systems, and OEM operation management. In year 3, it's 14 weeks, and you're covering analytics and problem solving, industrial robotics and PLCs. And you would also have a capstone work-based project, which marries all the learning and the modules over the 3 years. You will see at the bottom of the slide that there are 3 core modules that are underpinned throughout the 3 years. And what I mean by that is that those 3 modules are covered within the 3 years each year. So that's team leadership, communications, and applied engineering. I'm now going to hand you back to Anna-Marie, but just to say this has been a valuable year. This has been our first year, and the 10 apprentices now are moving into their 2nd year at Monaghan Institute. And it's great to hear the feedback from the employers that are present here, the mentors, but also, most important, the apprentice, the real life experience of the apprenticeship programme. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Sinead. That was great. I'd like to ask Kevin Bartley, the Training Services Manager at Limerick Clare Education and Training Board, to talk to us about their plans for commencing the apprenticeship in October 2020. Kevin?
Good morning, everybody. I suppose we've been involved with this apprenticeship over the last 3 years. So we were involved with the development and the design of the apprenticeship, I suppose, and the content of it. Limerick and Clare Education Training Board have a long history of being involved in delivering phase 2 mainly of apprenticeships in both our campuses in Shannon and here in Raheen. I suppose like craft apprenticeship has been our mainstay, with I suppose the electrical, mechanical, welding, MAMF, along with a lot of construction courses here in Raheen. And then out in Shannon, we're proud of our aircraft apprenticeship, and also refrigeration, fabrication, welding, and so on. So we have a very wide, vast experience of apprenticeship. So our plan this year is we hope to start in October here in Limerick to deliver the first stage of the O.E.M apprenticeship. And like we're set up, we're ready to go, we have the experience. So all going well, if we get the apprentices, we should be ready to roll out in October. All right, I'll hand you back to Anne-Marie.
Thank you very much, Kevin, and we look forward to you starting in October and being of any assistance we can be, and working together and collaborating on the O.E.M apprenticeship, both in Monaghan and in Limerick. Just a little update now on the current apprentice and the apprenticeship and where it's at the moment. The first cohort of apprentices commenced their apprenticeship on the 3rd of October 2019. They successfully completed their 16 weeks in Monaghan Institute and returned to their workplace on the 10th of February 2020. While with their companies, the apprentices are required to complete 4 work tasks assessments. I think Paul touched on that. And this is done in collaboration with their mentors and Stephen, our coordinating tutor here in Monaghan. Now, due to COVID-19, there had to be some rescheduling of the work task assessments. But even with all that disruption, this group is on track to complete year 1 as planned and commence year 2 in October 2020. The current group of apprentices are from 5 different companies. Those companies are Alltech Keenan, established in 1978. Keenan is a respected leader in sustainable and profitable farming solutions, focused on maximizing feed efficiency. Keenan provide precision diet feeding technology to optimally mix and prepare feed for maximum animal performance. COMBiliFT. COMBiliFT is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and an acknowledged leader in long load handling solutions. More than 50,000 units have been sold in over 85 countries since COMBiliFT was established in 1998. Denison Trailers have been building high quality trailers for over 50 years with a passion for engineering excellence. Still a family owned and run business, started in 1964, manufacturing trailers. L3Harris. L3Harris technologies play a critical role in nearly every aspect of aviation, in the airport, the tower, the cockpit, and the sky. Tanco design and manufacture robust, reliable, and efficient bale wrappers across the globe. Their agricultural silage wrapping machinery is award-winning. For companies here today who might be interested in putting an apprentice on the programme, Cavan Monaghan and Limerick Clare Education and Training Boards are currently planning the next intake of first-year apprentices for October 2020 in both regions. If your company is interested in putting an apprentice on the programme, the next step would be to complete an expression of interest form. This would be followed by a site visit to assess suitability to train. We'll put up our contact details now, and if you want to drop us an email or a phone call or whatever, we'd be more than delighted to discuss further with you the apprenticeship or to give you more information on the apprenticeship. We now have an opportunity for questions and answers, if anybody has any. Or if any of our presenters would like to add anything further to what they've already said.
Sorry, Anna Marie, just to come in there. I actually had a question that come in just on the chat there, just while one of the presenters was presenting, and it was actually just around the mentors. So, what qualifications does a mentor require?
Okay, well, I can take that one if you want, Siobhan. The requirements for a mentor is a level 6 qualification in mechanical, electric, mechatronic, or a related discipline, and a minimum of 2 years industry experience in that sector, or have completed a craft apprenticeship in mechanical, electronic, or electrical, or related discipline, or have a minimum of 5 years experience working in their company's industry. So those are the requirements for the mentor or the OEM apprenticeship program.
But I do think to add, Anne-Marie, it's Martin here, is that, you know, most business that'll be interested in this program will have someone within their organization that has 5 years experience. So I think it won't be a challenge for any business to find a mentor. It's just finding the individual that has that experience that the company can free up some time to be a mentor. I think, you know, and I think as businesses, we have to be prepared to free up some of their time to make that possible.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for that. Anyone else have a question? Or maybe Siobhan has some more?
Yes, Anna Marie, sorry, just somebody asking about the entry requirements for the apprentices.
The entry requirements are the Leaving Cert pre-2017 with a grade D3 or higher in 5 subjects, one of which must include mathematics. After 2017, applicants must achieve 5 O6s in the Leaving Cert, which must also include mathematics. Or the potential apprentice may have a full award placed at level 5 on the National Framework of Qualifications, which includes a proficiency in maths or similar to the O6 in the Leaving Cert. The other option for joining would be have successfully completed an improved pre-apprenticeship training course in an engineering discipline and demonstrate a proficiency in maths similar to O6 in the Leaving Cert. Or in the case of an applicant who is 23 years or over, or has been employed in the OEM sector for more than 3 years and does not meet the educational requirements specified above, there is an RPL process, a recognised prior learning process that they can take part in to join the apprenticeship.
Sorry, Anne-Marie, it's Martin McKenna here from COMBiliFT also. I'm the operations manager here and also the chairperson of the consortium steering group. Just on the recognised prior learning, we had a candidate last year who hadn't got the qualifications, so he actually went through the recognised prior learning process and he successfully completed that. He actually, at the board, he'd done the interview and he presented his projects of what he had learned from COMBiliFT for 3 years from working on COMBiliFT. So he actually excelled through the board meeting and through the interview process, and he got onto the application, onto the apprenticeship programme. He's actually doing quite well in the course now as well. But if we hadn't got him onto that course, the apprenticeship, the O.E.M apprenticeship here in COMBiliFT, he was probably going to leave COMBiliFT and go to do an electrical apprenticeship or a plumbing apprenticeship. So it was vital that we got him onto it because he was a good candidate for COMBiliFT for the apprenticeship and also moving forward for a company like COMBiliFT who needs young people developing their strengths within. Okay.
Thank you very much for that, Martin. Thank you. That's great to show the evidence of how it's working successfully and that the RPL process is there for candidates who may not just have the educational requirements, but have the desire and the skill set to take part in this apprenticeship programme. Thank you for that.
Sorry, I just see a question coming in there in the chat as well from Breda. Is there any specific training for the mentors?
Yes, yeah, we provide training for the mentors. The current mentors have had 2 full days of training here at Monaghan Institute with the subject matter expert and the tutor and some mentoring experts involved in that training as well. So yes, there is training as part of it.
And sorry, I just see Francis Wood, sorry, has his hand up here. Francis, have you a question that you'd like to ask? If you'd just like to unmute your mic. Are you still there, Francis? Sorry. I can see, Francis, that you're unmuted, but maybe your microphone isn't working. We're not getting anything through. Even if you want to post your question in the chat facility, so you'll see the conversation area beside the raise hand option. If you want to even post your question into the chat, we can take it from there.
Do we have any further questions from anybody, or would any of our presenters like to say anything else?
Sorry, Anna-Marie, I just see another question coming in there just as you were saying that. So if industry wish to join the consortium, who should they contact? So I'll leave that to whoever wants to answer that one.
Martin, you're muted.
Hello, sorry, it's Martin McKenna here again from COMBiliFT, the chairperson of the consortium group, steering group. So if you want to contact myself directly, then we can put you through the process and get you validated, the company validated to join the consortium group. Like, the consortium group is working quite well as well, because it does help us develop and see what other needs is needed for the OEM apprenticeship to develop it going forward. Because as we know, it's in the pilot year, we've been developing it for the last 3 to 4 years. But we're constantly wanting to make changes to it to make it better, to make the apprenticeship what is actually needed for the employees and the employers out there. So that's what the consortium group is doing. But any company that wishes to join the consortium group can do so by emailing myself, martin.mckenna@combbilift.com, or even contacting Anne-Marie Woods. She will put you in direct contact with us as well.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for that.
And sorry, just another question that has come in there. Do you link with schools for those that might be interested?
Do we link with schools?
Yes, so I'm presuming that means do you go out to schools and promote the apprenticeship? Roshan, if you want to even clarify that. But...
Yeah, yes, sorry about that. Yeah, can you hear me okay there? Yes?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, yes, I think this is an absolutely fantastic program, and I'm just wondering in general, you know, how it could be promoted even further. It's a great opportunity for young people who would like to have a career in this particular field. And I suppose it's not a specific question, but, you know, is there plans to maybe promote that across maybe the border regions? And is there anything that maybe we can do in Solace to help you do that? It's just, I suppose it's a fantastic program that I believe a lot of young people would be very interested in making this their career. And how do you reach those particular students or young people that might be interested in the apprenticeship? And I don't really need it answered. It was more just, you know, is there anything we can do to really help that, or is there anything I can do, I suppose, from an inclusion point of view that could help you on down the line? So it wasn't a specific question. It was more just a comment. Thanks.
Thank you. Maybe Martin here from COMBiliFT. So maybe I'd like to make some contribution in that regard. So I think we all agree at secondary schools, it's important that we educate the career guidance counsellors in the secondary schools that surround our own businesses about this apprenticeship and other apprenticeships, of course, as well, because I do feel many career guidance counsellors think that the first avenue for their school leavers is college, and apprenticeship is for those that don't have the ability to get into college. But one thing, the significant difference about this apprenticeship course content is developed around, I use the term high achievers, young people that want to progress and develop a career for themselves. And I know it's not a minimum criteria, but quite a few of the individuals that joined the apprenticeship program in the first year would be equivalent to 400-point plus Leaving Cert students. And I think it's important that we get that message spread nationally that, you know, apprenticeships are for high achievers. It's not for low achievers, and there's enough evidence to prove that, you know, people participating in apprenticeship programs have developed very successful careers within industry. And I think for all of us as industry owners, know and value apprentice in different fields, and you know what, apprentice with expertise and a skill is valuable in all our businesses. So there's great career opportunities, but it is a challenge for us to spread that word around the education system. Thankfully, around the Monaghan area, we as a business, COMBiliFT, we meet a lot of the career guidance counsellors. We bring them into our plant. So I'd encourage other businesses, and I'm sure many already do this, but the more we can educate the career guidance counsellors, and then of course, we also have to think of the mammies and daddies at home to make sure they value apprenticeships as well. So that's more of a national challenge to get them to value it too. But I mean, anything Solace can do in market and that would be of real value to this apprenticeship and other apprenticeships in general. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anna Marie, can I just jump in there? Kevin Bartley from Limerick Clare Education Training Board. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Martin or Kevin, please. That'd be great.
No, what I was just going to say was in relation to promoting apprenticeship from the Education Training Board's point of view, I suppose we have presented a lot with the career guidance practitioners, you know, to promote all apprenticeships, including OEM. Also, we working with our Enterprise Engagement Support Service and the senior training advisors within our own Education Training Board to go out to the schools to hold showcase events. Every November we have a showcase event in Limerick to promote apprenticeships and traineeships as well. But I suppose the point that I kind of want to make from that is there is a big appetite now with youngsters to take up apprenticeships, but I suppose the big sell really is to the employers, for the employers to buy in and hire those young people. So that's the challenge. The youngsters want to take up the apprenticeships, but they're finding it a bit difficult. And I suppose, you know, in the current market, it is a little bit difficult, but you know, the challenge really is with the employers to take on the apprentices, especially for a new apprenticeship like this in original equipment manufacturing. Okay, that's
Anne-Marie,
just.
could I come in there, Anne-Marie?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Emer Brophy here with Limerick and Clare Education Training Board. Martin, I was part of the hundreds of guidance counsellors you brought up to COMBiliFT there about 2 years ago, and I managed the guidance service here in Limerick and Clare, and it was a brilliant day. It was just fantastic. It was the concept you had of bringing us all together from all around the country. And as Kevin said, we replicated that in Limerick and Clare by providing information sessions. We call them guidance briefings with industry, and industry hosts the guidance counsellors, the whole 27 of them across our schools and further ed. And we kind of look at that as a way to drive the apprenticeship message through the guidance counsellors. And most importantly, your point today and your point that day was that it's not about, the Leaving Cert Applied class. It's about everybody and everybody having that opportunity. But Anne-Marie, if I would say that we're pushing this very hard in Limerick and Clare, Kevin and I, through our contacts, through our apprenticeship showcase, through Limerick for Engineering showcase and that. But we're not getting a lot of traction yet. So we need to push it harder, I suppose, and we need to make sure that the employers buy into this, because it's a brilliant initiative, brilliant opportunity. But we need to make sure the employers are hearing us this morning, and that they join us to fill this programme. So that's just I want to put that in. And thanks, Anne-Marie. It's a great morning. Great to hear it all from all the speakers. Thank you.
Yeah, could I just come in there, please? Yeah, Pádraig Green here.
Yes, please do, Pádraig.
I'm a training advisor in Mayo Sligo Leitrim. Like what Kevin and Emer has said there, yeah, employers buying in. We go to the schools, we promote in the schools in Mayo and Sligo and Leitrim. But the problem is getting companies to come on stream. Really, there are people, there are apprentices. They're ringing now, potential apprentices, looking for where they can get these apprenticeships, where they're advertised. And you were saying to them, look, it's word of mouth, it's networking, it's sending in your CV. But they are looking at social media, and they're looking for these apprenticeships. A lot of talk about them, but you see, they're not on these websites that they're looking at. That probably demotivates them or whatever. But I would have to reinforce what Kevin and Emer has says there. The companies need. There are people out there, yes, they will take up these apprenticeships, and as Martin has said there, in all the apprenticeships right across. So we're talking about close to 60 now, and the website apprenticeship.ie is a very good site. So there is two sides to this equation. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Pádraig and Emer. Thank you both for that.
Maybe, can I just add just to Pádraig there, are you suggesting, Pádraig, maybe we should be promoting apprenticeships, and particularly this one, more through social media than maybe more traditional methods? Or have you any thoughts how we get to these?
Well, the actual vacancies, Martin.
The vacancies, okay.
Yeah. On social media, because that's where those young people, or maybe not so young, are looking at these potential jobs. So because they're asking you, where are they? See, and there are not that many if you look at it.
Maybe on that train of thought, Pádraig, and it might be an idea for all of us that are employers on this call, even if you're not totally committed to putting an apprentice on immediately, if we all could have a small section on our website that we're open to register an apprentice, and at least that will give us a good indication as employers what apprentices are in our vicinity or in our locality that are interested, and that might encourage us as business to put apprentice on. And of course, putting that on our website doesn't mean we have to commit to the first person that applies, but it'll give us a good feel who's out there that has a real appetite for it. So that might be one initiative on all our websites, if we just had a small section for recruitment of apprentices. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
Thank you, Martin, for that. That's a really good idea. And I think just to emphasize what Kevin said, that we do need buy-in from the employers, because the younger graduates or school leavers are becoming more interested in apprenticeships. So we need the positions within the companies to take these young apprentices on.
Anne-Marie, could I make a comment there?
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Joe Ledden is my name. I manage the Midwest Regional Skills Forum, so I would work closely with Limerick Clare ETB and obviously Tipperary ETB. As Kevin and Emer said there earlier, we host an annual Midwest Apprenticeship and Traineeship Careers event. It's probably the biggest in the country. We put 2,500 learners through that last year in its second year, and we hope again, please God, to host it again in November. But there's some big interesting points raised there. We designed the Midwest Regional Skills Forum in partnership with Limerick Clare ETB and TIP to be a Midwest Apprenticeship app, because most young people now are accessing their data in a mobile and kind of a virtual platform. So we designed an apprenticeship app, and basically what it was we listed all the different apprenticeship sectors, so manufacturing, engineering, hospitality, financial services, all the different apprenticeships, both traditional craft and non-craft. And then we listed employers who were already registered with SOLAS. So when the student or the mum and dad were sitting down at the kitchen table, or the career guidance counsellor was speaking to a potential apprentice who said, look, I want to work in manufacturing, well, then they could go into the app, and it's still available, by the way, click on manufacturing or engineering, and up will come a list of 10 or 20 companies in the Midwest, all approved by SOLAS. Now, they may not all be hiring apprentices, but at least the student and mum or dad or the career guidance counsellor had the opportunity to see what employers in the region were actually signed up and registered to hire apprentices. And it proved hugely successful, but we were led to believe that SOLAS were expanding the website to the point whereby I suppose they would replicate on a national basis what we were doing 2 years ago in the Midwest region. And I don't know how much that has progressed, but we have worked closely as a regional skills forum with the ETBs. We've facilitated guidance counsellors going into industry. They listen to the particular industry and the opportunities, particularly for careers via the apprenticeship route. And you can't do enough of that. And Martin was asking there earlier, and I haven't met Martin, but Martin was asking, is there other ways? I mean, young people, I see it in my own family, they are huge consumers of information and data. So social media, be it Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or any of the other social media channels that young people are now accessing, we should be, in terms of promoting apprenticeships, we should be all over that space. And I'll finish with this. We have nearly 50% unemployment now in this country. If ever there was an opportunity for the new government to look at the whole apprenticeship and traineeship model in the context of working with employers and making it more attractive for employers, particularly SMEs, to hire an apprentice or a trainee, irrespective of what sector it is, now is the opportunity to do that. And we need to grasp this opportunity going forward, because the whole apprenticeship traineeship route offers a magnificent opportunity, not just to address youth unemployment, but to give people, as Martin and several others on this call have said, to give people absolutely wonderful careers. And I'm happy to share the link for that app. Thank you.
That would be great, Joe. Please do share that with us whenever you get an opportunity. And thank you very much for that contribution. Thank you.